Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here for April 15th. Let's jump right into our charts and see what happened in the markets today. First up, we got our June live cattle on the board. Did see a fairly quiet day here in this live cattle market. Prices balanced out inside that prior day's range as we continue to see good acceptance of these higher prices, which is good news for the bulls out there. We expect to see this cattle market keep on pushing higher. This uptrend still remains intact, and we got a nice little trend week still here rolling in this live cattle market. But we are seeing some overextended levels here, so we just want to get everyone on pullback watch. If we get some offers coming in below today's low at 249.5, could get a little bit more selling pressure and some longs to start taking a little bit of profits, which could get this market pulling back a little bit. However, the uptrend still remains intact. Technically speaking, we should see this market find support in the event of a pullback. We got good support all the way down here into the low 240s and near our major moving averages, so dips should be good buying opportunities. Look for the bulls to reload in the event of a pullback. However, we still got a nice little trend week intact here at the moment. We could see these bulls just continue to keep on grinding up here into the 250s throughout the remainder of this week. This market continues to show good signs of strength and health here. We should see these buyers keep on driving this market higher in the near term. If we do get some offers down here below these prior days low, we could see a pullback get underway, but dips should be good buying opportunities. So the bulls should have a good chance to reload in the event of a pullback. So we should see a good support either way, and this cattle market should keep on pushing up in these all-time highs. Next up, we got our May feeders on the board. Did see a little bit of downside here in this feeder market, trading as much as $5 lower at one point. We did see this market just start to sell off right off that opening range, pushing down here towards 373. Brief signs of support early before we're finally right there. After about the first hour of the day, we did see a nice little breakdown below that bull pivot as the current week's buyers kind of threw in the towel there. We did eventually kind of flush this thing back down here, briefly undercutting 370, kind of getting that pullback underway. We expect to see more downside here in this feeder market to come, which could kind of bleed over and carry that live cattle market lower here and get that pullback going on that June contract. But we still expect to see good buyer support here. This feeder market also showing a nice uptrend here, and we should see good buyer support down here towards 365. Look for this market to come back down here and try and retest that 20-day average from below. We should have good buyer support step in. Look for these buyers to reload. Down here anywhere in these major moving averages or into the low 360s should be a good opportunity for those bulls to step back into this market and reload here for another run higher. After yesterday's all-time high, we should see these bulls reload and take another run at it. We should have our sights set on $4 for this feeder market, and we should see good buyer support here throughout the remainder of the week in the event of a pullback. So look for good upside here in this live cattle and feeder cattle market here over the long term. Could see a pullback here in the near term, but we should see bulls continue to support this market and see higher cattle prices here throughout the rest of the spring. Next up, we got our May corn futures on the board. After about 3 days of balancing out here in a 5-cent range, we did see a nice little bullish breakout here as this market snapped back to our major averages. However, this thing is just kind of stuck here in the middle of this range. We are going to designate 440 and 470 as the edges of this range here at the moment, so look for this thing to continue to diddle around here in the middle. Don't get chopped up here as this market is kind of in a directionless environment here at the moment. If this thing does kind of slip back up here towards 460 to 470, we should see good selling pressure step back up in here in this area. But like I said, this corn market has been very comfortable here around $4.50, and we don't expect to see any major directional moves. Look for this choppy range bound action to continue here for this corn market. Next up, crude oil prices kind of seeing some wider ranges once again here today. Prices flushing all the way back down towards that 50-day average last night during the Asian session. Most of that downside was contained to that first that Globex Open. Today's session did spend most of its time kind of bouncing out here between 93 and $90, putting in a lot of volume here. If the bulls continue to show good support at that 50-day average and get some bids rolling in above today's high at 93.30, we could see a little pop back up here towards $100. But at the moment, this crude oil market looking like it's kind of facing some headwinds, barring any sort of escalation in Iran. We should see this thing continue to bleed back down here into the $80 range. We'll have to wait and see if this 50-day average continues to show good support or near these or carves out a range here. But at the moment, the crude oil market looking like it's starting to slip, and we should see a little bit more downside here. But be cautious if we get some bids coming in above today's high at 93.30, as that could cause a little bit more volatility here and get a nice little pop up there towards $100 again. So look for the volatility to stick around here, but we should see this crude oil market continue to start to bleed lower. And last but not least, we got our equity indexes on the board, continuing to see good strength here in two of the three today. S&P and the Nasdaq both pushing higher here, with the S&P getting a close today at new all-time highs. We are seeing the futures continuing to trade up here into these all-time highs during this evening session here as well. Nasdaq putting in new all-time highs here tonight after falling just shy of it here during the day session. And the Dow is the weakest of the bunch here, as it kind of balanced out here right around 48, and kind of near these prior range lows here from the beginning of the year. So after this impressive rally we've had over the last couple of weeks in all of our indexes here, we've had a pretty sharp, drastic rally here, all the way back to all-time highs off of this corrective move low. So wouldn't be surprised to see this market getting a little extended here and get a pullback underway. But we got good buyer support here at this follow-through day range here in each of our indexes early this week. Bulls continuing to show good signs of support. Lots of accumulation going on out there in those mega cap names. Charts are starting to clean themselves up, and people are putting money back to work. This is a good time to get back into this market. We should see a nice little uptrend here shape up, and see these equities continue to climb back into those all-time highs. Dow continues to be the laggard here. Look for some of these stronger places to put your money. But in the meantime, we should see the stock market continue to rebound and get a new uptrend underway. So the rally still remains intact off of this follow-through day, and we got good support here. Look for more higher prices here into the end of the month. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. Catch you guys tomorrow.